My coworker tried to get me fired, then accidentally exposed herself in front of the whole office. Full story. I thought my biggest problem at work was the broken printer and the fact that our office coffee tasted like regret. Then my coworker tried to frame me for something I did not do. And somehow, by the end of the day, she managed to ruin her own career without me lifting a finger. Follow us for full stories posted daily. We're serving fresh tea all day. Back to the story. Hello, Tea Talk, I'm Rachel. And this all started because one woman in my office could not handle the fact that she was not the main character. Her name was Vanessa. Now, from day one, Vanessa acted like she was one promotion away from running the entire company, even though we had the exact same job title. She was one of those people who said things like, "I just operate at a higher level," while asking me how to convert a PDF. Every meeting with her felt like being trapped in a group project with someone who contributes nothing but confidence. At first, I tried to be nice. I really did. When she forgot deadlines, I reminded her. When she messed up client notes, I quietly fixed them. When she sent an email with the wrong attachment to literally everyone, I helped her recall it before our manager saw. And what did I get in return? Attitude. This woman acted like basic professionalism was some kind of personal attack. If I answered a question correctly in a meeting, she would get all stiff and start typing like she was reporting me to the government. If our manager, Karen, complimented my work, Vanessa would suddenly remember some tiny issue from 2 weeks earlier and bring it up like she was solving a national crisis. One day she actually said to me, "You're lucky people think you're organized. That kind of thing can really cover for a lot." I just stared at her and said, "Cover for what? Knowing how to use a calendar?" She did not like that. After that, the vibe got even worse. She started hovering, like weirdly hovering. If I got up from my desk, she would somehow also need to get up. If I was talking to Karen, Vanessa would drift over like office perfume with bad intentions. If I sent something to the team, she would reply all with some fake helpful correction that usually made no sense. Then came the Monday from heck. Our office had been preparing a giant client proposal for weeks. Everyone had a section, and I was in charge of the final formatting and submission, which normally would have been fine, except this project had people touching it nonstop, so the shared folder looked like a digital garage sale. Karen told me, very clearly, "Rachel, the final file needs to go out by 3, no mistakes." I said, "Got it." Vanessa, who was somehow standing there despite not being part of that conversation, smiled and said, "I'm sure Rachel can handle it." The way she said it made my eye twitch, so I spent the whole morning cleaning up the document, fixing version issues, and making sure everything looked polished. By 2:30, I had the correct file ready. I saved it, attached it to the email draft, and left my desk for maybe 3 minutes to grab the printed summary from the copy room. 3 minutes. That is all it took. When I got back, Vanessa was standing near my desk, not sitting, not walking by, standing. She jumped a little when she saw me and goes, "Oh, I was just looking for Karen." At my desk? Interesting. But I let it go because I had a deadline. At 2:55, I sent the proposal. At 3:10, Karen came flying out of her office looking stressed. And that is never a fun sight. She goes, "Rachel, can you come in here right now?" So I walk in, and the client proposal is open on her screen, except it is not my polished file. It is an older draft, a bad one. I am talking random comments in the margins, unfinished charts, and one note that literally said, "Replace this later." My stomach dropped. Karen turns to me and says, "Tell me this is not the file you sent." And I said, "It is not." Vanessa, who had somehow appeared in the doorway like a jump scare, goes, "Well, that was the attachment on Rachel's draft email." Oh, she was enjoying this. I could feel it. Karen looked disappointed. Vanessa looked delighted. And I looked like someone trying very hard not to flip a desk in a business casual outfit. I said, "I attached the correct file. I checked it myself." Vanessa tilted her head and said, "Maybe you were distracted." That was the moment I knew. This was not an accident. I do not know what my face looked like, but Karen must have seen something because she told Vanessa to go back to her desk. The second Vanessa left, I said, "She touched my computer." Karen blinked. "What?" I told her Vanessa had been standing by my desk while I was gone. Karen did not say much, but she got that look managers get when they are mentally reviewing every weird thing they ignored for the sake of office peace. Then she called IT. Now, T-Talk, this is where the universe decided to be hilarious. Because our IT guy, Marcus, was the quiet type. Very chill, very unbothered, but weirdly excited anytime there was a system log involved. He comes in, sits down, checks the desktop activity, and after about a minute goes, "Oh, that's not great." Karen says, "What is not great?" Marcus turns the screen slightly. There was activity on Rachel's computer at 2:33 while she was logged in but inactive. I folded my arms. Karen leaned in. Marcus kept clicking. Then he said, "A file was removed from the email draft attachment list and replaced with an older draft from the shared folder." Karen went dead silent. I said, "Can you see who did it?" Marcus nodded. And then, like a man announcing the weather, he goes, "Well, judging by the workstation camera angle, it was Vanessa." I am sorry. Workstation camera angle? Apparently, because our department handled client contracts, there were small security cameras pointed at the general desk area. Not close enough to read screens, but definitely close enough to show who was physically at which desk. Vanessa had apparently forgotten that little detail in her personal supervillain era. Karen asked Marcus to pull the clip. And there she was, Miss Higher-Level Operator herself, walking to my desk, glancing around like she was in a low-budget spy movie, clicking around on my mouse, swapping the file, and then casually trying to walk away. The room went so quiet I could hear the sad little office air vent rattling. Karen just stared at the screen for a second and said, "Get Vanessa." So Vanessa comes back in still wearing that fake innocent face. Karen does not even waste time. She turns the monitor toward her and says, "Would you like to explain why you tampered with Rachel's proposal draft?" T-Talk. The way Vanessa froze. I have seen people get caught in lies before, but this woman looked like her soul left the group chat. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. Then she goes, "I think this is being taken out of context." Out of context? "Ma'am, this is a video," Karen said very calmly. "What context would make this acceptable?" Vanessa started rambling about pressure, fairness, team dynamics, and how she felt overlooked, which is a wild defense when you are literally caught sabotaging someone on camera. Karen shut it down fast. By the end of the afternoon, Vanessa was escorted out with a cardboard box and the kind of expression people make when they realize consequences are, in fact, real. And the best part? The client still wanted the proposal, so I resent the correct version, and they loved it. Karen apologized to me in front of the whole team the next morning and said, "Rachel handled a very difficult situation with professionalism." Meanwhile, the entire office was acting like they had just watched the season finale of a workplace drama. One coworker whispered, "I always knew she was weird about staplers." Honestly, same. So in the end, Vanessa tried to get me fired, and instead she speed ran her own exit from the company. Achievement unlocked, office karma. So tell me, T-Talk. Have you ever had a coworker try to sabotage you, or was Vanessa operating on a level all her own?